my name is Kumi. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, hi, welcome. So glad that you could join me. So if you don't know anything about this channel, essentially I love to talk about career, work, money, business sometimes, relationships, marriage, and faith. Those are areas that I'm very passionate about, and if that's the kind of thing you like, I believe you're going to love this channel. So like you must have seen from the title, today I'll be talking a little bit about marriage. So just a bit of a background. I've been married now for 18 months. I got married when I was 23. I'm 25 now. And a lot of people have questions, about what it was like to get married young. And, I have a lot of friends who are not married, older, younger as well. And, the questions keep coming, to be honest, because people are just curious. And I completely get that because I'm very curious as well when it comes to relationships. I just think that when two people come together to have any kind of relationship, like even a casual friendship, that it's just interesting, So I love talking about that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that really is my history. Married 18 months. I went out with my husband for 2 years and we eventually decided to settle down, okay? So inevitably, even before you get married, there are things you learn just from being with someone. Do you know what I mean? Like you could have been with, if you're a girl, you could have been with one guy for maybe a year and with another guy for 3 years, and you learn different things from those different relationships. Like relationships always come with lessons. So these are just a few interesting things I've learned on my journey so far. I think even if someone has been married for, believe me, even if you've been married for 3 months, there's something there's a lesson there somewhere that you would have learned. That's just how it goes. So if you're interested, please keep watching. We're gonna have a good time. I think the lessons I started learning started from before I got married, right? So I was engaged for about a year. It was supposed to be a short engagement. We didn't have a full formal kneel down, come and propose. I said yes on Instagram. We didn't do those things. We literally went to go and have pizza one day, and we had been talking about getting married before, and I was like, man, if we're going to get married, we need to sharply tell these people, as in our parents, these people, so that they can start, making preparations and all that kind of stuff. And that was January of 2017. And so shortly after that, maybe a week after that, we decided to tell our parents, and that's what we did. And that's what set the ball rolling. So my lesson started from just after that pizza date. I feel like that's when my marriage lessons really started. I'm always open with people about this, when I see engaged couples that break up, now it makes sense to me. Now I understand, because being engaged, or that period of engagement, was a very difficult period for me personally, and I would say for my relationship as well. The minute it goes from just being you and your partner to, everybody else, not even in a bad way, because you need people, especially when you're getting married. You need people. So I'm not that so I can do it myself thing, but the minute it becomes larger than two of you, bruh, like things just start coming into play. You know what I'm saying? You have to manage expectations. You have to manage people. You just have to deal with things that are bigger than just you, just me and my boyfriend or me and my girlfriend. You know what I mean? And then also, I think that there's the pressure that comes with not just the wedding, but preparing for something bigger. It can put a strain on your relationship. And so there were a few things I learned in that time of my life. And I think I'm going to do a separate video on like wedding preparations and that kind of stuff, because I think it's a whole new, it's a whole different ball game. And I'm not talking about doing ashwabi. No, I'm talking about like dealing with your relationship in the engagement period. I think I'm going to do a separate video. So one of the important lessons I learned in that engagement period was patience. I felt like I really need to be patient with my partner, because he was going through a lot in the time. Everybody else is thinking about how many guests we're going to have and what's the color scheme, but two of you that are getting married, you're thinking about beyond the wedding. How are we going to afford this? How are we going to afford that? What kind of life do we want to have? Where do we want to live? And those things come with their own pressures. It really taught me patience, and that I had to, which wasn't difficult for me, to be honest, but that I had to turn away, like focus away from whatever little details had to do with the wedding, and really, really like be there for him and try and understand him, even though sometimes it was difficult, So that was my very first lesson. Well, the lessons I started learning really were about myself. I feel like when you're with someone, like sides of yourself come out that you didn't even really know were there. I always knew that I was a very emotional person, but the first thing or one of the first few things I learned was that I ride a lot on my emotions. Like I make decisions and I make reactions based on them, and that's sometimes not the healthiest thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important for us to realize that emotions are a healthy thing. They're a normal thing to have. Even emotions that we normally think are negative, like anger, for instance. It's a perfectly normal emotion. There's nothing wrong with being angry or, being disappointed or being frustrated. No, those are normal emotions, but it's what you do with it that then matters. I started to notice that I was taking things that my husband did super personally, and I actually had the power to react in a different way and to avoid issues, avoid conflict. But I was reacting to everything. And I'll get to that part later. But what I really learned is that I have power over my emotions, and I can feel something and just feel it, let it sit, deal with it in myself, and not have a reaction. It's not every time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not every time. And I think that leads me to my second point. I had to learn how to pick my battles. Okay, so when we first got married, bruh, everything. Like I said, I'm a very reactionary person, so everything was an issue. And honestly, if you do that, you're just going to kill yourself. There are just some things that I promise you, if you just chill for 30 minutes is too long. If you chill for 15 minutes and you think about that thing, and you even take it a step further, pray about that thing and just chill, I promise you can avoid so many fights. It took me so long to understand this, and I think that if I had understood this on time, I would have had less issues. Now what I'm saying, literally just chill. It will go on its own. Of course, that's not all the time. There are some times where you need to address something there and then, or there are sometimes when it's a big issue and you just have to talk about it. There's no sweeping it under the carpet. But I prefer now to save my energy for the bigger issues than deal with everything. It's not that important. Or sometimes if there's a small thing I want to deal with, like, oh, I don't like that you did this, I don't like that you did that there, I don't like that you said this, or I just say it and I move on. It's not a whole and that's how you said it before, and that's how I just say it and I move on. And if it's a bigger issue, then we take time to talk about it. But picking my battles has really saved me lots of time, lots of energy, and has done my relationship good. Another important thing I've learned is accepting that the other person is the way they are. They tell you this in marriage counseling, but there's no amount of times that someone can tell you that you really get until like you breathe the same air with someone 24/7. Like, we are so different. And when I say we, I mean couples, like in general, like all over the world. We are so different, or people all over the world. The things that make you happy, believe it or not, it could irritate like the person that you're with, or even if you're just a friend. I mean, think about it. Even as friends, there are things we do that we just can't get. That why doesn't the other person like this, or why doesn't the other person do like this, or do you know what I mean? So now multiply that by being in a relationship or being married. It's bruh. I'll give you a good example. It's such a tiny thing, but my husband loves to like be on his phone, like Instagram, all kinds of things in the morning. And I'm not like that at all. Like when I wake up in the morning, I either want to just lie down in bed and think, pray, or if it's on the weekend, I love to read early in the morning, because on the weekday or on weekdays I'm not able to do that. But my husband is the complete opposite. He just like loves to start like absorbing information, sometimes news, sometimes, And when we first got married, I was like, first thing in the morning, pressing your phone. And it's funny because so many people do that. But for me, I just thought, don't you even want to just, first of all, let's fresh air just enter your brain? But I noticed that for him, that's just, number one, he likes it. And I had to realize that that's good enough. For the fact that the person likes it, that's good enough. I mean, as long as it's not an unhealthy habit, or it's not something illegal, or it's not like substance abuse or that kind of thing. If the person likes it, then the person likes it. That's number one. You can't change what people like. And then number two, it's like a step down for him. For him, like waking up in the morning and just jumping out of bed, it's too much. Like, he just needs to take out a certain amount of time, do that, and then he's ready to face the day. But for me, I can read for 30 minutes or pray or whatever and get up and I'm ready to start doing laundry and I'm ready to start going to go and cook this and cook that. But he's not like that. I just had to accept that that's just the way he is. And I can quote several examples. There are so many examples, but that's just one of them. Accepting your spouse for who they are or for what they are is a very difficult thing, because we are naturally judgmental in nature. Human beings are naturally judgmental in nature, and naturally you feel like your way is the best way. So it is so hard. But I think the minute you start to not try and rationalize it, like, oh, why is this person the way they are and why do they that's just the way they are. There might be something about their background or their upbringing or their experiences that made them the way they are. And they might just have come from heaven like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, don't try and make it like fit into a box in your brain. Don't try and understand it. And I feel like women do this a lot. Don't try and make sense of it. It is just what it is. He just likes what he likes and you like what you like. And I think that's another lesson, that it's okay for you to like what you like and for your partner to like what he likes or what she likes. You don't have to like the same things. The same things don't have to make you happy. Like, the things that make me happy, they're so tiny, they're so silly, like cute things like this. Or I love candles now. I love scented candles. I love reading. I love cooking. I love those kinds of things. My husband doesn't like any of those things. I mean, maybe he likes scented candles now. That's a random thing. But the things that make him happy are completely different. Another big thing, I'm like a people person. I love to have people around. I recently just had a games night, for the second time. I love, just hosting people, being around people, celebrations in general. Like, I'm huge. I can't wait for Christmas as I am like this. I am just waiting for Christmas. I already know what I'll cook. I already know the size of shrimp I'll buy. I'm that kind of person. I love to cook, host, have people around, laugh, gist, My husband is not like that. He's very introverted, but he has made a lot of compromises for me. Like, I'll never suggest something like having someone over or going somewhere and he'll be like, I don't really think they should. Because he knows that's the kind of person I am, and he's not trying to change me. So I feel like I'm the one that needed work when it came to trying to change anybody, because he wasn't trying to change me, but I was the one that felt that my way was the best way. He's very introverted. The things he loves are different from what I love, and I'm also trying to make an effort for him. For instance, he loves movies. Loves movies. And when we first started going out, I wasn't a movie person at all. In fact, he will abuse me then, because I can use 3 days to finish one film. Sitting down and watching film, I don't know how to do it. Or sitting down and watching TV shows, I don't know how to do it. I'm a more active person, rather than like sedentary. But I got into movies because of him. So now, sometimes when I come back from work, we'll just quickly like watch a movie, or at the weekend, we can watch like 2 movies, sometimes even 3. We just like, I will be gisting, that's what he loves. Going to the cinema as well. He loves going to the cinema. Typically, when we go out or have date night, that's what we love to do. Whatever makes them happy, makes them happy. Don't try and rationalize it. Like I said, unless it's an illegal thing or it's abuse of something of some kind, just let them be. This life is hard. Let everybody do what makes them happy.